Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So today I figured I would talk about that Shelby GT350R that I had. Because I would say maybe on every other day I get someone messaging me either on Instagram or posting on one of my videos or my old videos of the Shelby asking if I regret selling it, if I regret getting rid of it, especially since everybody's quick to remind me, hey, they're no longer making that flat plane crank, that voodoo motor within the GT350R. Do you regret selling it? So if you guys recall, I knew that was the case even when I sold it. It wasn't news after selling it. So that had already been announced. Perhaps that even helped me sell it for as much as I did. If you guys recall, I ended up going through a consignment on it, which I'm normally against for the record, but it worked out okay. But if you guys recall, I did lose around $9,000 on it, which is a bummer. But to answer the question, no, I don't miss the thing at all, to be honest. It sat in the garage, admittedly, most of the time. That's why we lived in Wyoming, if you guys recall. And we lived down a 2 mile long, about mile and a half long gravel driveway. and like not even the nice gravel, but like the gravel that it was just like huge rocks. Enough to, if you have OCD at all, it was going to kind of put a damper on your day if you were to drive your GT350R with Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires down that road, which happen to be like the stickiest compound tires that will pick up every single pebble possible on the road. Every pine needle will pick up and throw. So you hear a lot of tings every time you drive down gravel roads. So I don't miss that, but because of that, I didn't end up driving it that much in Wyoming, right? And by me not driving it for so long, it eventually evolved into me not wanting to drive it on purpose to keep the mileage low, and that's never a position you want to be in my opinion. You don't want to, for starters, I'm too young to be wanting to keep a trophy car in the garage. I don't want to do that, but that's what it kind of evolved into. It had, I think, just over 1,000 miles when I actually sold it. I bought it with, I think it was like 700-ish miles when I bought it. So I put a few hundred miles on the dang thing, which is really upsetting to say out loud. So I do kick myself a little bit, but at the same time, that whole series of events is kind of what led us to where we're at today. And I'm definitely happy with where we're at right now. Obviously, we have the Tundra TRD Pro, the 2021, and the 2021 4Runner TRD Pro. So, and not to mention, they're all different colors, which I think is pretty cool. The white, the cement gray, and of course, the Lunar Rock on the Tundra. I think really what it comes down to is I have grown to really appreciate driving trucks and SUVs, and I don't know if I've grown to appreciate that for the right reasons, but here are the reasons. For starters, your driving behaviors and characteristics change, right? I no longer carefully and tactfully approach speed bumps. I no longer slowly and carefully enter driveways, if you will, ones with big slopes or whatnot. So perhaps it's a bad thing. Maybe it's making me a little more careless, but at the same time, I would argue it just makes me a lot less on edge driving a truck and SUV. So I like being able to kind of rip around wherever I want. I don't have to worry about curbing my wheels, which I think is a big thing. Even in that Shelby, those wheels are carbon fiber wheels. If you guys aren't familiar with the GT350Rs, they have carbon fiber wheels, which are super swanky. You brag to all your friends about it, but at the end of the day, if you curb one of those, you're looking at, I think, don't totally quote me on this, but I think it's anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 per wheel to get it fixed. Obviously, it's fully insured. If I were to do that, it'd be covered. But just, again, that in the back of your mind while you're driving it around town is enough to kind of stress you out a little bit. At least someone like me, right? So why else do I appreciate trucks and SUVs? The fact that you can work on them easier is another small factor. You can crawl underneath, or you can change the oil without jacking it up. So that's a small thing there. You got better visibility, better space inside for the family. This one being a 4-door, you can actually get your family in it. And again, this is unfair comparison. We're talking a sports car that doesn't even have back seats. I get it. But here are the things that I've actually grown to really appreciate about driving these trucks, right? SUVs. So, space, I feel good actually driving it. So when I actually drive it, I don't feel bad about putting miles on it. We're at that spot where, the Shelby, like I said, toward the end of it, I was really reluctant to even drive the thing just for the sake of logging miles on it. Because at that point, I knew I wasn't going to keep it forever, and I didn't want to totally tank the value of the thing, right? Yeah, do I think the values of those Shelbys are going to go up and continue to go up? Yes. I mean, you know, they're no longer making it, so it's going to be a special vehicle, especially if you're able to get your hands on, I think it was a Heritage Edition that came out just for 2020. Yeah, I think those are going to continue to do very well. People are always quick to reference the motor problems that they had. A lot of people, their engines were blowing. You know, I think if you're to do a couple important mods right from the beginning, you'd be okay. Like the oil catch cans, getting those on, especially I think it was the right bank. But if you put those on right from the beginning, you're kind of in a safer position right from the start. So, long story short, I don't miss it. Yeah, I don't miss having to carefully walk around it in the garage. I no longer am nervous when my children are running around in the garage, right? Because we no longer have that little trophy sitting in there, if you will. But yeah, so I mean, I actually enjoy driving this Tacoma. I like driving it back to back with the Tundra. Do I need a second truck? Absolutely not. You know, the Tundra will offer everything that this will and better, right? Offers better space, cabin space, better towing capability, better bed space, blah, 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 blah. But this is still fun to drive. I enjoy just kind of taking it out, and I can do that with the family, whereas that was never the case with the Shelby, right? And I make this point. I made this point a couple times before, and I'll make it again because I do believe it. You know, what is the purpose of having $80,000, $70,000 invested into a vehicle if you can't even enjoy it with the people you love most, right? So I mean, if I were to ever drive that Shelby, it was me driving it to work by myself. You know, maybe I'll take a friend out and take it for a quick spin. But even then, I mean, I want to be able to enjoy it with my wife, right? My smoking hot wife, for the record. I want to be able to enjoy it with her. I want to be able to enjoy it with my kiddos. Because, I mean, they're my family, the people I love most, right? Again, I know that's kind of cliche, but that was never the case with the Shelby as it was, especially without the back seat entirely. You know, you could argue maybe just getting a standard GT350 that would have worked. Got a back seat in that one, actually. But you know, even then, it just wasn't going to be conducive, if you will. It wasn't going to be comfortable, is what it kind of boils down to. So does that mean that I'll never ever get a sports car again? No. I still, and I guess classic Untamed fashion at this point, I still constantly look up sports cars. And my wife, she'll often catch me looking at them too on my phone or whatever. I guess that's the good thing. A good thing for your wife, I guess, catch you looking at right on your phone by yourself. But you know, she'll, like just the other day, she got me looking at an Acura NSX. I was looking at that and she was like, really? Seriously? So I still find myself kind of peeking at them for fun. I don't foresee myself pulling the trigger on it for these reasons I'm talking about right now. I'm always looking at the Acura NSX. So I was looking at the Supra Nismo GTRs. I got a soft spot for them. As you guys know, I had the R35 5 years ago. So I always kind of look at the Nismo. Huracans are sweet, but again, we're talking far out of our range for the time being. My dream car is the Lamborghini Aventador, and I think that will always be the case. But again, we're talking far out of our price range for anywhere in the near future, of course. The only sports car, quote unquote, I think I can call it that. It's a wagon, right? So I mean, the only one that I would actually consider getting in the next few years would be the Audi RS6. That thing is swanky and a half. But again, I might bump into a lot of those issues that I just kind of walked through. I mean, being OCD about, you know, curbing the wheels, messing up a front lip, a fender, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of bump into that. But with that one, obviously with it being a wagon, you can actually enjoy it with the whole gang with you. Not to mention they just look stunning. If you guys haven't seen them, you got to check it out. But yeah, so right now, those are all, you know, you're very lucky to find a matte sticker, of course, but again, they're really expensive, and that would require me to at least sell 2 of our rigs right now, probably all 3 of them, and get the wife a 1997 Subaru Outback while I'm driving that around. So that wouldn't be good form. But anyways, I mean, if there ever were to be a next sweet car, it would likely be us gunning for one of those in a few years, perhaps a used 2021 RS6. But at any rate, guys, I've already made this video quite long. I just want to kind of walk you through that, as I know a lot of you guys are are truly curious if I miss having that GT350R. And the answer is I don't. And I think it's good for my personal psyche and my OCD to not have that sitting in our garage anymore. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching as always. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you would have kept the Shelby, or if you would have done what I did here and actually ended up swapping it out and ultimately getting the Tacoma here instead. So I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time.